reach the light, fill me out with a flame. I will let you in this game. Take me out when I'm down. 'Cause with you I'm safe and sound. 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 I'm safe and sound.
Walking alone, the streets are empty. The only thing I can see is my own silhouette. I'm getting stronger, step by step. The clock is ticking, but there's no time for regrets. I've been flying from town to town, from London to Taiwan. I've been all around the globe, trying to protect your soul. We are heroes tonight. We will fly above the sky. We are heroes tonight. Yeah. We are heroes tonight. We will fly above the sky. We are heroes tonight. Show any fear. I've been flying from town to town, from London to Taiwan. I've been all around the globe, trying to protect your soul. We are heroes. I've been all around the globe trying to protect your soul.
Cracky.
When you want to get off the darkest ground, but gravity pulls you straight down. Earth from a bird's eye view. You should grow feathers and see this too. When you want to get off the darkest ground, but gravity pulls you straight down. myself my name. Forgot about all you tried to change. Familiar was the sound of your voice as I continue to walk on by. It has been a year and now I'm living on the line. It has been a year and now I'm thinking that I'm better off right here without you. That I'm better off right here without you. That I'm better off right here.
There are only a few seconds to close this round. A headshot, nice. Fist bumps go to the teammates.
I wanna hear your go, go, go. Make them feel your smashing blow. Win the round. Rise to fame. Hold the ground.
Very much. They play, you win.
Hello everyone and welcome back for our second best of 3 of the day, and that's also going to be the last best of 3 here at the second round of the Swiss stage. The name's Sir Danny, bringing you the action here alongside Trevor. And of course, well, in comparison to the best of 3 we had just earlier, Trevor, I'd say this one should not be too surprising, right?
You would think so, but we've had almost nothing but surprises for the most part. So I've seen too much that I'm honestly still concerned, even though you feel like you should know what's about to happen here.
Yeah, exactly, because here we do have another scenario where it is a top team in the form of VP playing against the squad of Trident. So absolutely here, the disparity between the rankings is obviously greater than what we witnessed, say, in the Gambit versus Spirit matchup. But overall, yeah, I do agree that there's always the potential for an upset. There's always something you have to be careful of if you're a team like VP going into this matchup. But in all fairness, I still give the advantage here for VP, and I don't think it's going to get as close as in the previous matchup, so to speak, because here, again, there is just a big disparity between these two teams. VP consistently playing in the Tier 1 Counter-Strike world, whereas a squad like Trident, I mean, they're barely scraping by that Tier 2 CS, even somewhat being a borderline Tier 3 team. So absolutely right now, you look at this matchup, and it shouldn't be too difficult for a team like VP to dismantle the squad here of Trident.
Well, that's what you always feel. You feel like there always should be the way, but considering when Trident have experienced talent, C's being a very famous name, it might be able to give a way to have him help support the team. And if they can be confident with their aim and their just bring out their A game and just have him to support them, at least mentally, as they go through, it could easily see another upset happening by surprise.
But
Especially
again,
when you...
speaking of the fragging potential, right? I'll touch on that point real quick because we do have some great fragging on the side of VP. And of course, one of the highlight players that I want to point out here is Yakinder. Absolutely great performance from his part, being able to find a lot of opening duels for the side of VP, and is even regarded as a great entry fragger, but he's also one of the best players on the server when it comes down to his entry fragging capabilities. He's given a lot of freedom on the side of VP, as in the default setups. If he's going to feel confident enough that he can peek these players, I'm sure as hell he's going to be going for those peaks. And that's the one great thing here for VP, is that they do have a player of such caliber, and that's just, of course, one Yakinder to speak of. Then you have the other individuals in the form of Jame. You have the combo there from a Vanguard, Buster, and Quickard. So I have to admit, though, yeah, you can talk about the potential fragging there on the side of Trident, but things are looking that tad bit better on the side of VP. That's for sure.
But all that has to happen is an off day, like we've seen with a couple of teams so far over today and yesterday, with opponents that you feel like they're favored to beat easily. So you have to just consider that, like, at least acknowledge the fact that the favor's there, but also the fact that there has been some wild surprises, that anything can happen, especially when we start to look at and consider the veto that Virtus.pro permabans one of the maps that Trident are more comfortable on, Nuke. Meanwhile, Trident is similar to Na'Vi almost in the way it was seized permit banning with the team Vertigo in contrast, usually, which we'll see come out now, which VP has a poor win rate on, so getting it banned is just a benefit for them.
Yeah, that's going to be
they
a
don't have
massive,
to worry about at all.
Yeah, that's going to be a massive benefit here for a squad like VP to note that Vertigo is not on the table. But on the other hand, there's still some weaker points on the side of VP. I mean, you could definitely look on the map of trade. There just hasn't been a great performance on it the past 3 months. But we're going to instead see the pick coming in here from Trident, and that's going to be Overpass. That is the pick that you probably don't really expect heading into this best of 3, right?
Yeah, that's what you'd think. VP immediately going for Mirage, which is very interesting. Their most confident pick and one of the weakest on the side of Trident. So be a very valuable punch to come on out here. And when you consider Overpass as well being a map both teams are good on, it could set up VP in theory to be able to set up the easy 2-0 as we would feel. And with something very dangerous like Dust 2 getting out of the pool, it will force there to be more strategy and experience to be used, which should favor towards VP's direction as we end up on Inferno, one of the more difficult maps to deal with.
Yeah, the third and final one, the piece de resistance, it is going to be Inferno. If we do go to that map, of course. But yeah, it's actually very interesting that we do have Overpass coming through, because one of the maps I was really hoping to see is in fact Train from Trident, because that seems to be the one maps they tend to play quite often. It's also the map in which I believe they have, their highest win rate on. So it's interesting that it's not a map like Train, but Overpass instead, because the map of Train has also been picked by some of the other CIS teams against VP. They've been trying to punish them on it. I do recall as well, Spirit being one of the teams that I from what I remember, ended up picking the map of Train when they played in the DreamHack Masters Best of 3. So it's interesting to note that Trident not going to try to punish VP on Train. Instead, they're going to go for the map of Overpass. And that, of course, then puts us on the second map of the best of 3, Mirage. And this is where, VP absolutely confidence pick going into their opponent's weakness, right?
Yeah, with that being the case, it sets up something perfect for them to be able to build and create this very punishing setup. And I think the ban of Train sort of makes sense. Like, on paper, it just seems weird not to pick their choice. But as we've seen the past couple of days, teams collectively starting to ban Train irregardless of the situation towards the latter half. Just think the fact that it's getting moved out of the map pool, no one's really considering it now, and just trying to get it out of the way so they don't have to think about it, because they know it's going to be gone very soon, within a couple of weeks, I believe, for most tournaments and events.
Yeah, so that, of course, then puts us in a scenario where we're going to go to that third map of Inferno. And Inferno is the type of map where things can really get tricky and out of hand there super quick. It is going to be somewhat more difficult for Trident, I'd say. If you'll take a look at their performance recently, Inferno just hasn't been a really good map for them. But it also comes down to Inferno being a very common map in Tier 2, Tier 3 Counter-Strike that loads of teams end up playing it, not just CIS teams. A bunch of Polish teams end up playing the map as well. It's just a very common map, and it is quite difficult to get consistent on these sort of maps. So I can kind of see the reasoning why we do end up playing the map of Inferno on the side of VP. That seems to be the one map they believe, you know what, we're just going to get rid of Train. We could potentially be punished on that map, and we're just going to go with Inferno. For us, that's going to be the more comfortable map. For a team like Trident, it should be a bit more difficult to focus on it. So overall, if you take a look at the veto, it's still not a bad veto for the side of VP, that's for sure. Some of the maps here that we're going to see at play are the maps Virtus.pro plays. So for them, it's again a pretty good veto, all things considering.
Yeah, when you think about it all collectively, having Overpass is a very nice chance for Trident to be able to take away a map and be fairly competitive. But by the time we get to the later maps, especially Inferno rather, with all of its strategy and how important every single piece of CT utility is to counteract and deal with Ts on it, it's very important for Trident to get this map because they might not have any other chances going through the best of 3.
Yeah, for Trident, they're going to have to start off strong here on the very first map, being their own map pick of Overpass. They must give it a best showing here. James, early on, spotting out a lot of players in long. Doesn't want to fight them, however. Will consider to back away from this one. And Tricky, though, he'll get caught out by Buster. That is such an uncommon angle, especially so early on in the first map of Overpass. So perfect start here for VP. As right now, Buster, instead of pushing through, is going to return, join his teammates on the A side hold as Trident getting closer and closer towards the bomb side. Sees with the first good frag, yet Kinder getting a second. It should be clean one here for VP. It ends up being a victory, though some blood being drawn. A victory nonetheless.
Very clean and confident. One of the most important things is that concern and getting cleared out when not noticing anyone towards Monster pushing forward and getting that initial early pick and just getting all of that map info and awareness made it easy for all of VP to just quickly start running and rotating over onto that A site to immediately counteract with the timeout. It's going to be a very handle this. See the stay with our group involved. I believe it's C's waiting to get back on the server. So the whole thing to consider here is how the aim theory should be stronger by far on paper. So it'll be important for Trident to be to leave VP guessing and give them opportunities to get advantages in these fights.
Yeah, looks like it is going to be a bit of a posture coming through, but we should be able to continue on with the matchup here. And here as well, this was the type of round in which Trident, early on, they have the notion that they want to commit towards that A bomb site, but I think they might have done some demo watching as well, because why else would a player like Tricky hold that position? He was clearly expecting someone from VP to go for the aggressive play. And even though Tricky, in a prime position, still doesn't secure that frag, still doesn't get that one for Trident. And from there on out, if you're Trident and you lose a player in T-spawn, you're probably going to expect big flanks coming in soon. So you then persevere. You hit the A-bomb site. The players from VP are already there. You can't really win against them all. So VP, that's going to be the first pistol going their way. As for Trident, though, not a full-on investment, though we do see some of the players like Tricky going in for the scout. Norway as well having just $150. I think he might have been the one player dropping that scout there for Tricky. Yeah, as we can see right now, Yakinder playing it close by here. C's getting the first frag here on one. Yakinder, though, already 3 frags being picked up. Massive hold from him.
And with that, should be a decent control. It's not necessarily over yet. C's still with a deagle. All you need to find to catch an opportunity in ahead. Only one player on this A site playing passively of Sanji. With that, the other two just holding this connector together. Just waiting for the info, and C's able to cross us to the side and pre-fire and clear out that bank angle and make it a 2-on-2. Bomb planted for the CT route. And waiting to figure out what to do. It's going to be hard. Buster does have a smoke, but they have to stick a 10-second defuse on this, and there's been 2 FAMASas stolen away. An amazing shot with the MP9, and they're just trying to smoke off that one angle, meaning Buster's going to have to cover bank here as the bomb is stuck for the defuse. And a good spray coming out is going to confirm the spray is connecting. And he's aware of glowing and able to hold Buster, protecting him. He only has just 41 left, but at just the last second, Cease is able to find the connection with the FAMAS and steal away the round. And no one surviving will leave Trident with a massive economy advantage going to round number 3.
C is the absolute madman of this round. We didn't get to see it from his perspective, but we saw the kills coming in, deagle shots left and right, then in the post plant as well, has the angle, and just waits for the player to stick the defuse, and then when the time is right, he'll pull the trigger, get that frag, and of course the victory here for Trident. Not a bad start here for Trident. They end up losing the pistol, but that second round, great victory for them. Not going to force VP on an eco, anything of the sort. In fact, we're going to see a reinvestment, and for James, already an AWP. This is something you're not going to expect if you're Trident. Though flash for good measure, that's going to force James out of the angle, and luckily for Trident, they're not going to have to face the AWP.
And with trying to avoid that AWP, interestingly enough, they're trying to work through long. Very classic smoke to smoke right at the end of long to block the vision, but instead they're trying to take the duel tag right through the lamppost, so Tricky's fortunate enough to live for the moment. And they have information where this AWP is. They're still willing to try to work towards these restrooms, though. With it, just trying to pre-fire angles, very concerned here. Have 3 players collectively stacked up and a 4th rotating for this. And James set up with his AWP, flashing on the cross. No one towards long. And they're not really dedicating towards any site push yet. They're going to be executing in very late. 35 seconds left as they plan to go in on this. But it works perfectly. Everyone rotating to this B site, assuming they're going the other way. Exact stream they're working for. Yakinder, the only one on this A site, left all alone. Trying to use the off angle, able to body down Z's. Won't be able to get the second on Nori. But it's left to a 4-on-4. The op's still alive, but even an additional smoke on Clax to deny this retake from being a reasonable thing to go for, and just forcing the Deagles to walk away and protect this AWP.
That's a mustard now for VP. Save the AWP. As for Trident, though, nice setup there on the A-bomb side. Nice plays coming in as well. As they force the rotation from VP, there's only Lonesome Yakinder remaining. He becomes an easy target. And for Trident, that is a great victory to be had. Especially because once they realize James has the AWP, I'd say for Trident, there's a lot more pressure that round. Absolutely. Because now they have to be so careful about James' positioning. They have to do everything they can to try and force away the A-bomb site. Luckily here, everything works out really well for Trident. It would have been even better if they somehow managed to eliminate James in that round as well as the remaining players. Because right now here, we still see that AWP still very much alive and kicking.
For sure. And they're stuck with the similar setup. Yakinder not investing anything after going down after the single deagle frag. But they still have 3 more with it and that AWP towards this B site. And with that presence being initially towards B, I'm not entirely sure if they're willing to rotate mid-round and change their sights. So if they stay dedicated on this, it could be a massive problem, especially if there's any early damage quicker with that HE. He's able to find any damage to help these Deagles 2-shot. It's going to become even more troublesome as these Deagles suddenly become shotguns and absolute demolition machines to tear apart Trident as they try to push on forward. Boost out from Buster, but he's just slightly too low in the view angle. And Clack's quick with the trade to get the lower guy of the boost as well. And now suddenly it's a 3v5. Sanji trying to play around this pillar. James able to find the first. Try and take this engagement against C's. Not able to land the headshot. Now it's up to James to try to hold a tight angle, but realize that it is time to save and run away to try to hold this for their next full buy.
Yeah, that just seems to be right here for VP. If only the 2 players don't die so quickly, perhaps James is more than willing to try and hold on alongside his buddies so that then when the Trident execute comes in, they might have a better chance. But here, the 2 players just died so quickly. Quickard as well takes the hit, and from there on out, again, it just makes a lot more sense to save that AWP for the next round. But Trident, really enjoying their approach right now. Being very careful, very methodical in their approach. And I also even like that little play they made. Once they eliminate the first guy that was holding that position above the cardboard wall, we still see a second guy come in there with the push to try and get that frag. And well, luckily for him, he succeeds and is going to be the 2-1, pardon me, the 3-1 start here for Trident. As right now, things will get spicy. VP, just enough money to get that investment going. It's not going to be their best investment thus far. In fact, the weapon's not going to be the best as well. There's a few FAMASs at play. Sanji with the UMP. Some utility, that's great to see, but not the best weapons here for VP.
I would say it's clean enough. It's good enough in the traditional sense of being able to spray these weapons down and do recoil patterns rather than just have to land two very precise or even just a headshot. But the most important thing will be James going aggressive on this long angle, completely isolated alone. He has the space so far. If anyone goes for this information long and gets caught out, especially this Opper, this could cause a lot of trouble. But it looks like they're just going right by him in restrooms, and James going to be able to call this and just start peeking further, clearing behind him, and they're just going to stack this A site, be able to easily read Trident. And with that smoke coming out, Yakinder setting up to go forward to give more space to his teammates rotating in. James still very cautious about someone holding for him to push forward. And Clax even looking towards long, making James have to try to hide behind the rock here or even push forward behind them. Things gotten away with it, and Yakinder's just hidden in the smoke and found a double and a triple to close it. Clax, the last one remaining, able to take one down from long, but there's going to be little more for him to do here. He's surrounded in all angles, and Buster will be the one to take him out. And BP with some fantastic positioning and info gain from James' aggression to be able to get that second round.
Yeah, it's absolutely impeccable. James, he goes in for the aggressive play, but he also gathers some very valuable information there for the squad of VP. And of course, parry match bringing you the odds right now. We can see that VP, rightfully so, the favorites to win map 1. And what a great hold there from VP. In particular, Yakinder holding on to his position for as long as possible. And Trident, they don't do a good job at checking the restrooms. They don't look at that position. And of course, that's going to allow VP to strike with a deadly blow. That is a nice round coming in from VP as a whole. And Trident right now changing things up a little bit, as we now see VP having Yakinder holding the long position. Doesn't have Jane backing him up. So now it's going to be just lonesome Yakinder holding it long, and no, nothing just yet. A lot more players coming his way though. Looks like he might even have to ask Jane for help, as now there's going to be two players holding the long position. Perhaps Jane will be the first point of contact, and then Yakinder can swing out with the AK-47. Or maybe even a flashbang could be deployed here. If James is precise enough, he has the flash out. It's been deployed. Yakinder, though, oh, it blinds him, in fact. That was the counter flashbang from Tricky. And so Trident can pursue the commitment. 45 seconds. And the rotation slowly but surely coming in, but look at James' positioning as well. He gets the tag here on Clax, but it's still not enough. So low in HP. The nade, in fact, will get the better of Clax, but Sanji's Molotov finds glowing, and Quickard goes down as well.
Now Buster's left in a kind of challenging 1v3. Only one more smoke on Tricky, but he has to be focused with that op to hold down Bank right this second. So has to provide an opening if he wants to keep this angle smoked off. And as the smoke fades, an opportunity is given, but Buster caught off a second too late as it's fading, so Nori's able to get the advantage, taking him out and getting Trident the fourth. With that, we have to see how VP wants to adjust. Doesn't have much money to work with in this round. Could possibly see a single pistol or two, or even in this case, looks like they're interested in being willing to just fully save and work with just these USPs. Looks like just as the round starts, 2 deals and a P250. Garnered on up. Try to get an opportunity to find an opening pick. And it looks like those running through connectors should be heard. They're interested in getting that water pick. So it's going to leave this USP initially exposed as it gets cleared out by Nori. That being the case, Quicker has to reposition, try to walk back. Doesn't want to get caught out by this AWP. It's up to Trident to carefully clear out these positions and not get caught out by these couple of deals.
As long as you have the players here, Trident, those few deals shouldn't cause any trouble. As long as you stick together, clear out your angles, and the spacing is correct, like I said, shouldn't be any issues. Though these guys from VP, you have to be careful going up against them. Quickert holding the long range angle there with the deagle. Not going to see any of the players coming his way just yet. But right about now, Trident will slowly but surely shift their focus towards the A-bomb side. They still have Clax there towards B, who I believe is trying to pull off a rotation, and well, he's doing a stellar job. Look at the minimap. Not a single player on the A-bomb side. Lonesome Clax has done it. He has pulled all the members of VP from the A side in towards B, and now they're just stuck in transition, not really going towards the B-bomb side, but also not committing towards A. So this is an awkward round for VP. Sure, though, this is simple eco, but for Trident, they're playing some really good Counter-Strike, some really thoughtful Counter-Strike, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, trying to make sure to play things in a very clean fashion. We're starting to see echoes of things we've seen over the past 2 days. Just how much aim can be a reliance, certainly with the different formats. And even C's popping off some lovely shots there on the exit, even spamming James through the smoke on the way out. And with it, Quickert's the only one left with the deagle just to hold on to bring over to the next round. And Trident don't lose a single player throughout that entire play. As VP grab up everything to buy, it's important to see how they're going to adjust here to try to deal with Trident going to get this massive lead and try to build their own upset for today.
Yeah, a bit of a pause coming through right now. As for the guys at VP, not the best start right now here in the first half. Trident already with 5 rounds on T-side overpass, and Seized, one of the players you don't necessarily expect to step up here for Trident, having a really good run of form. Because if you'll take a look at some of the ratings provided by HLTV, Seized is one of the least impactful fraggers on the side of Trident. You have some of those other individuals stepping up. So the fact that Caesar now is having a great run of form is somewhat surprising, but there we go. Let's see if he can keep up the pace, because right now he's inflicting a lot of damage on VP.
Only weakness this time around is Quickert with the UMP and the lack of utility. With that door being busted open, it's going to make it a little bit more difficult for James to be as aggressive. So Cease goes for his connector. Info gets caught at the wrong time. Buster able to catch him. With it, Sanji immediately throwing a smoke grenade monster in response, not allowing any quick aggression to try to take that B site. Buster just holding next to the pallet and water, able to avoid the flashbang and take down Nori, single-handedly getting these first 2 frags and possibly getting this round for VP, holding this very valuable water control, putting Trident in a very difficult situation. And trying to look for more information, going for the scope, and they line up, getting the double. And with that, Trident been caught out 1 by 1 as they try to take these duels. And with one quick scope, taking out a double, an unlikely situation becomes an impossible one. Tricky left alone in 1v5, and even a player flanking from behind of Yukinder might be able to even guide this op from being saved. Catching him, getting him right with his first 2 shots, getting him right in the head, and VP have their third in a very clean fashion. It's reflected with a 1.4 odds in their favor currently on the Perio match versus the 2.8 of Trident, even though Trident has built up this very strong early lead initially into this first map.
What a sick round here for VP, and love the collateral coming in from James. That is just some perfect timing to boot. You may have all the strategies in the world, but even if you're not going to be aware of James' positioning, you're going to be losing 2 players if you're Trident. This time, though, Trident not going for connector control, though using connector as an avenue for the advancement. And Sanji, what a stellar shot coming in here. Gets the wallbang here and seized. This could prompt some of the players of VP for the aggressive play in B short. Looks like that's not going to happen. They're going to keep with 4 players towards the B bomb side, from what I can tell. A lot of emphasis on the B side hold. I mean, a player like Kinder is giving them valuable information that there's no one coming towards the A bomb side. You can even see Kinder now potentially making his way towards connector. This is getting scary right now for Trident. Even though they still have a lot of time on the clock, they have barely any map control remaining.
And with that, the pressure comes. They have to push through B short, and everyone's aware, almost everyone here for VP as well, not necessarily trading dominantly in the duels, but trading equally at least with that man advantage until Nori is able to take away one more. Trying to space through the gap, and James caught off guard. Clax perfectly spacing himself, pushing through the smoke. The only question is if Yakender's going to try to do the same as this bomb's planted. And now it's a 1v2. A massive play from Nori and Clax to make this a dominant situation for them instead. Just perfect positioning, trying to creep through that smoke. A full set of utility, but no smoke included for Yakender. Makes this retake a little bit more difficult, trying to clear angles around him. And has to try to drop down as carefully as possible. Monster's going to be the main difficult angle to hold, and there's no way for him to be able to retake this. Just has to grab the op for Jame and head on out. Trident with a couple of good individual duels near the end of that round to allow them to keep the lead 6-3 and keep the pressure heavy on VP early on in this first map of Overpass.
That is such a surprising round as well, because if you take a look at the minimap, and we saw it as well, there were 4 members from VP holding the B bomb site, and yet the push comes in from Trident, and they don't manage to secure the frags. Initially, trades still not too shabby there for VP, but then the last few duels, they just go the way of Trident. Not much of a response there from VP, and of course, Yakinder, the only player who wasn't part of the B side defensive, just has to run away from it. Bit of a dissatisfying scenario for VP. They had the right read as well. We even saw Yakinder in a potential flank position, but instead even considers, you know what, I'm going to play it safe. I'm going to rotate all the back towards the A bomb site for a safe rotation. And even so, Trident, great victory for them. You can see right now that VP don't necessarily have the confidence or the plays here and outside. No one towards long, no one really in the restrooms apart from Jane, but he's still somewhat far back. And VP is more than willing to give this map control here for Trident. You can see this has shaken their confidence.
Yeah, it's going to make things far more awkward. The one good thing is this setup between Jame and Yakinder. Set up with them very close together. Even Yakinder set up to possibly hide behind a smoke if one's thrown that way. Though in this situation, just waiting for contact to trade off of him. If Jame doesn't connect the shot, easily finds the first. And with that, it's now suddenly a 5-on-4. But the main issue is most of this defense is leaning towards A, as most of Trident starts to creep up towards Monster. Both these players are focused on this main Monster tunnel. Another re-smoke coming on out makes things more dangerous. As the utility's thrown, they're prepared, but not ready to handle it. As Nori's able to find a double, getting these entries once again. Yakinder caught in the side, trying to rotate by Seized. And with this, Trident now have a 7th round. And we're starting to see the continuation of these good organized teams being able to build these leads and potentially set up to upset players way above their caliber, just being confident in their aim and having some good coordination to set it on up. With it, they have info of where Jame is saving with that op, but looks like they'll be scared enough to respect it.
Oh, this is turning out to be quite a difficult start here for VP, that's for sure. Trident, some really good setups here as well, some really good mid-round calls as well. Even when James secures the opening frag, they consider to go towards the B bomb site. That's where Trident has found a lot of success thus far. And clearly, the success formula should probably continue pushing forward. Speaking of which as well, look at Seized as well. 11 frags for him, Norway on 10. The other players don't necessarily have to step up as much as, you know, players like Glowing and Tricky. Just on 2 frags apiece, and I believe Glowing is one of the better players on the side of Trident. So it's interesting to note that he's just having somewhat of a quiet game. But it's great to see that the other players are able to step up here for Trident.
Yeah, and with it, Quickert already prepared. He's going to be this first contact as this gets re-smoked. Utility's going to be thrown out. The Steagle can be very dangerous in such a short, small choke point and be able to funnel players down. But now it's Buster going to have to worry about it. Able to find the first, but there's an entire team behind Seized here, and they want to get revenge. Clack's the one to find it. Supporting with Nori, getting these openings once again, but Nori's caught off trying to throw the nade, but the shots don't fully connect to find the frag. And now it's suddenly a 2-on-3, 1v2. Sanji's trying to get trades, able to find 2 of them, but in the end, it's Clax with 3 to confirm the round for Trident, and a guaranteed half win at the minimum at this point.
It got messy. It really got messy there on the B bomb side as VP tried to hold their ground. We saw some aggression from the VP members, but it still doesn't stand a chance. Trident, great hold there, and then when things get not so good for VP, so to speak, even when a player like Sanji holds his ground on the B bomb side, the players of Trident still have a 1v2 in which Clax just swings out to win the fight against Sanji. Great victory here for Trident, even though this time VP, with a lesser investment, at least give up some sort of a fight. And for Trident, yeah, you're right about it. They already have 8 rounds to work with. For them, this is truly a good score, and against a squad like VP, Trident definitely picking this map for good reason. And it's not like VP are still swimming in cash, far from it. It's back to the simple deco. We do have that AWP in the hands of James, so that could be something Trident would have to be very careful of if they want to pursue in a round like this. And yeah, interesting as well that primarily Trident's riflers have still been the ones dealing most of the damage. Tricky didn't really need to do any of his heroics just yet with the AWP. And look at this as well, a faster round coming in from Trident, as now they're pushing from the fountain position, gonna clear out connector, and now the players have linked up.
Keep in mind, not only are they down 5 rounds already at the moment, they're stuck with Deagles once again, just with the Jame op to work with. Good info from Sanji will gather some info that there are players towards this position, but won't be able to find anything with it. James just trying to hold this connector to deny any rotations. Yukender sticking around with him for the follow-up or to steal the weapon as Glowing's taking out. And with it, just smoking on through. There's a player at each side. So even if Nori clears out one of them or catches this op on James, might be caught out by the lurk from behind, assuming restrooms is clear. They might have no idea Yukender's here at all. But CKS, or Clax rather, make sure it clears it out. And with that being the case, they're able to get this A site completely open. Just trying to peek out for info. Able to see the head of Sanji. Being careful now, it's a 3v4 retake. The op's been lost down outside restrooms. There might be little for VP to do, but save these Deagles going into the next round.
I don't know about that, though. They could potentially still find some exit tracks if you're a squad like VP with those Ds. Might as well give it a shot. Sees, though, he is going to go down to a few shots here quicker. Could potentially recover the weapon. Oh, this is interesting
away.
From...
I don't think so.
Tricky as well, just trying to throw away that weapon. Yeah, you're right about it. And I think he might have just done it. There we go. Nice play there from Tricky. Gonna make sure the weapon is not retrieved. But there's going to be another victory on the board of Trident. The 9th round will go their way, and I'd say that right now, if you're VP, you have the money. It's time to get that investment going and finally put your foot down. At least get the next few rounds in a row, because this is getting out of hand.
Yeah, exactly. And with that being the case, they're able to get an AK and an AWP up on to help themselves out, but they're down with only 3 rounds on the CT side, and just the absurdity continues. Just VP have the evidence to continue, but everyone wants those RMR points, and it looks like these teams are set up to get them as the double nade stack onto the position. Sandbags, I believe, takes out Sanji, so it's already a 5v4, giving Trident an advantage into this round to get into double digits already in this first half. Just trying to figure out how to adjust. Everyone stacked up around connector in this B site with all this pressure and successful rounds Trident has gotten there. But with them pushing through long, there's going to be no way for VP to have any information, and it might be another free site. And VP forced to save with 4 rifles, unless they dare try to go for a desperate retake that might just get hard denied and break their economy once again.
It's still on the table that the economy of VP can be broken, and they might be broken in this round as well, though I say that. But look at the positioning of Yukender. He's gone for the aggressive play. He's gathering so much information, but Jame, could be in for a nasty surprise. He's not aware that the players of Trident are so close right now. Full rotation from VP. They have the members playing it safe. Quickard, great frag on the first. Norway with the response. Let's see if Yakinder could get in position. VP just have to hold the line for as long as possible. Then Yakinder can deliver the lethal blow. But Yakinder, oh, he's gonna get caught out. That leaves the remaining players in an awkward spot, but Buster chimes in with 2. And so Clax left in the 1v2 as he's holding this position right now, waiting for the players, Buster and James, to move in to try and find that frag on him. But you can see his positioning, it's so good. The headshot angle is just waiting for the players right now. It's a dangerous game. The time is ticking. Someone has to stick to defuse. Clax will wait for it just a few seconds more, and there's barely any time remaining. Clax, he has lost his connection? Oh no.
Possibly. We'll have to see. Looks like getting cleared out. Almost dies. At least still has the rifle in play, but it may have been a poor timing for him, at least as of the second. But even then, still being up 9-4, and if you consider the fact that Clax and Nori have had so much impact, even with C's too, chiming on in to just group up together and get these massive rounds.
Yeah, look at this.
And looks like he's moving plus right. Everyone's staying in T-spawn for Trident. And timeout. Looks like we have more technical issues. Looks like we might be on a pause or possibly need a break as soon as we get information on what's going on. So it's certainly an unfortunate situation, as that could have been another star clutch round for Clax to come on in and just show what he's made of, being another amazing up and rising CIS talent. Though it looks like we are certainly held up at the moment. VP finally able to get their 4th. They can salvage this into a 9-6, which would be very valuable, especially if they can get that pistol on the T side to start with and start to build up a lead to even it out.
Yeah, but it looks like we're going to have to go for a bit of a switch here as well, because this is just not one of the members of Trident having these issues. Looks like it's the whole squad, so that is quite dissatisfying, because I knew that something's not right in that clutch, because I thought definitely the player was in a prime position to go in for that peak and still potentially win out the duel. I was really liking his positioning there, but once we saw the defuse coming in, yeah, it was basically just over, because the player from Trident just didn't even go for the peak, as he has some issues on his side and on his team side. So that is really satisfying that the whole squad are now of Trident just having this issue. So looks like we're going to be going for a break here, folks, as we do hope to get these issues fixed so that can bring you the best possible Counter-Strike. So guys, don't go anywhere. We're going to be going to a very short break.
Turn toward me and look so weak. I've never seen you with such tired eyes. And everything we said we'd be, we just traded for a suit coat and a tie. And underneath the rows of trees, I will see you where the ocean meets the sky. Under your toes, the fire grows. You are ready for a different kind of life. So silent. When you want to get off the darkest ground, but gravity pulls you straight down. Earth from a bird's eye view. You should grow feathers and see this too. When you want to get off the darkest ground, but gravity pulls you straight down.
Kids screaming in the cradles, profanities. I see the world through ice covered in ink and bleach. Cross out the ones who heard my cries and watched me weep. I love everything. Fire spreading all around my room. My world's so bright, it's hard to breathe, but that's alright. Hush. Take my eyes open to force reality. Why can't you just let me eat my weight in glee? I live inside my own world of make-believe. Kids screaming in their cradles, profanities. Some days I feel skinnier than all the other days. Sometimes I can't tell if my body belongs to me. I love everything. Fire spreading all around my room. My world's so bright, it's hard to breathe, but that's alright. Hush. Content, hold your breath and feel the tension. Devils hide behind redemption. Honesty is a one-way gate to hell. I wanna taste consumption, breathe faster to waste oxygen. Hear the children sing aloud. It's music to the wake bells out.
Take the wrong and you make it right. Like a firefly, you're glowing at night. So don't make it hard to let me go. I wanna hold you tight when you're cold. I'm waiting for your love, you just keep me hanging on. I deserve to stay, and I will find my way. I will find my way.
The fire makes the city look so bright. Close your eyes and just stay tight. We have to go. Stay with me while we leave. Don't worry, just believe me. This journey will relieve us. Stay with me while we leave.
find your way back home. Don't let me drown. Don't let me drown. Don't let me drown.
making me stronger. Stay a bit longer. You're making me stronger, making me stronger. You're stronger. I know you don't love me like you say you do. I know you don't love me like you say you do. I know you don't love me like you say you do.
Casting on my promises, you know I'm too generous. Now I've learned to never help you out. 'Cause I'm done cleaning up your mess. Found myself in my regrets. I've become a little stronger now. 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 You cashed in on my promises. You know I'm too generous. Now I've learned to never help you out. 'Cause I'm done cleaning up your mess. Found myself in my regrets. I've become a little stronger now. A little stronger now. Casting on my promises, you know I'm too generous. Now I've learned to never help you out. 'Cause I'm done cleaning up your mess. Found myself in my regrets. I've become a little stronger now. A little stronger now.
Open eye, feel the waves cut through me. Hypnotized by the sounds I'm breathing in. Hold tight, chemicals collide. Hold tight,
The storms we chase are leading us, and love is all we'll ever trust. Yeah, no, I don't wanna waste what's left. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll go.
What does perfect even mean? Is there even such a thing? Ooh, can we switch up all the rules and imagine a utopia? Darling, I'm just so fed up with these expectations. They keep weighing me down. My heart is begging me to get the hell out of my head. I'm gonna live inside the upside down for a minute and pretend, honey.
Hello, guys, and welcome back to the broadcast. It's been somewhat of a lengthy break right now, as there seems to be some issues on the side of Trident. To be more specific, looks like the guys that are boot camping right now are having electricity issues, so that is not affecting just the one or two players. That has affected the entire squad right now, and ever since then, they've been trying to figure out how to fix this issue. And right now, what we gather from the admins is that apparently they will be given a technical loss here, Trident. So right now, the current situation is that between VP and Trident, there is going to be a discussion right now of when they're going to play the second map. Now, it's still not sure whether the second map will be played out right now, or perhaps it might be played for a second, for some second, or perhaps some other instance than today. So yeah, a bit of a dissatisfying scenario here for the squad here of Trident, who were initially looking very solid here in VP, doing a great job at picking up those rounds. But yeah, right now it looks like they're going to be taking the loss here on the first map, and now we have to figure out when they're going to play the second one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we'll be doing a full... It is just a loss for only the first map, just in case clarification is needed there for that technical loss. And basically everyone is just on a standby to figure out what's going on and when they can be scheduled. So be sure to stay in the stream to keep up to date, as well as any of social media for the channel, so you can get updates on whenever things are happening, so you can figure out when these issues get figured out.
Yeah, it looks like we do have, in fact, an update about the second map of the best of three. So it looks like the guys from Trident will be going to the Windstrike Arena. They're going to be playing the second map from there. So by the looks of things, the start time of the second map will be in an hour. So guys, if you got an hour to kill, definitely find something to do, as it looks like we're going to be jumping straight back into this one after an hour or so, as it looks like we'll be able to continue on with the best of three today, even though it is somewhat of a dissatisfying first loss here for the guys of Trident. So guys, we're going to be going to a break. Be sure to return for our second map, as we still have to figure out the winner of this best of three.
I prayed for you and kept you near in hopes you'd chase away my fears. I'm on my own, you made it so, and now I'm chasing nightmares too. I used to run with you through the great big leaves, laugh at you when you laugh at me. Hope for us because I believe the home was just you and
And do you see you got me falling in more times than I can get out. Down in the deep of my mind, I crawl for you and you're always inside. Down in the deep of my mind, how long do I got to keep you, to keep you? Down in the deep of my mind, I crawl for you and you're always inside. Down in the deep of my mind, trying so hard not to keep you, to keep you. How long do I got to keep you, to keep you? Trying so hard not to keep you, to keep you.
with